starting with Mr. Cluett, who is the superintendent.
Yes, superintendent.
Start at the very, very top. He should take the major, he was supposed to be the answer to all these things. He should get a major pay cut. He should be the first one, so that we keep any kind of school programs they want to cut. He should get the biggest cut right off the top. And then all the teachers that are working, you all need a pay cut. No more raises. No more raises, freeze all raises, and start a pay cut system until you start graduating children in the school. And stop saying it's the family that got to do it in poor areas when parents are working and everything else. You people are failing kids. You're killing the kids in the street. My advice to every parent in New London, you ought to have a major meeting, and you know what you should be doing? You should be doing home schooling. Get some people who can develop a curriculum, get your kids tested, and start doing homeschooling. That's what you need, and get rid of these people who are not getting your kids passed through schooling. Now, it may be, sometimes it's the parents' fault. Sometimes it's the kids' fault, lots of time. But the school needs to get it together. And you need to be looking at what these individuals in poor areas are doing. You cannot look at school the same way you look at, if you're from a Wellesley or out here it's East Lyme,
right,
or a place like where I grew up, you cannot look at that school system the same way you looked at a poverty school system in the city of New London, the parental situation is a problem because of uneducation. They have low wages, and they got to be out there working, and they can't take care of the kids the same. You need to have a different way of looking at education in a poverty area, and you need to start thinking about it, because guess what? It's going to affect you. The infrastructure of this country is falling apart, and you know what? These children that don't have an education, where are they going to work 11 cents an hour, like China, Asia? How are they going to compete on a world market? And this world market is what we're talking about. What's going to happen? All these kids that have dropped out of school every year, you've condemned them for the rest of their lives to nothing. They're not even going to have, shortly they will not have minimum wage jobs.
No.
They won't have minimum wage jobs. They won't be there. You need to be thinking about, that's my other thing that's really aggravating me this week, is the school children that are falling behind, and people don't understand what's happening. I've been blessed. My kids are blessed. All of them have computers. My grandkids, even when they start, by the time they start school, they're usually ahead of it. They get tutored at home, and they're able to have, when they grow up, I have been very, very blessed. All of them have jobs and careers that they will go on to. Even the ones that didn't go to college have trade, technical school things. And that's because the family planned that. Now, some people aren't able to plan that. We have poverty kids. Their families never went to school. They really don't understand the education system. In fact, it probably frightens them. And we need to do something. And guess what? Cluett, you ain't doing anything. These kids are running the streets. Something needs to be done. The school board, I don't know what you're doing either. You're failing. Teachers, you're failing. You've got a nerve to ask for money. Failing school system, no money. Worker don't put out a good product, get rid of it. Reduce your thing. That's my new thing. This summer is going to be a big study about what you people are doing in the schools, how we figure out alternatives that work. Somebody should be listening to Dr. Funk's show. He knows what works.
Yeah.
He talked about the Harlem Project, right? He's an expert in the field.
Yeah.
Wake up. Wake up. You can tell when I'm in a bad mood, huh? I got a good mood, though, in my neighborhood. The first thing, I'll talk about the good news in my neighborhood. Okay? We have got the Kilo House. Now, you're seeing this the 19th, and my understanding is June 21st, 2 days from now, from when you see this, is there's going to be an open house at the Kilo House, which is, what's that, Franklin Street?
Franklin Street, yeah.
Franklin Street, right? Let me tell you, my good friend, who sometimes I argue with,
but he's still a good friend.
And I do love him.
I love him.
He's one of the only, well, one of the few. I have a couple of landlords I really like that we've worked with and everything else.
Most definitely.
But Abner Gardner he is He's fun, and he's a great guy, and he has on his property, he's got up the Kilo house. Now, I want to read this. This little pink house was the subject of the landmark 2005 U.S. Supreme Court case Kilo versus the City of New London, one of the most widely despised decisions in a century. The court ruled that New London could take this home and others and give the land to private developers in the name of economic development. And what's been done? Zippo, zero. Nothing's been done.
Not yet, no.
I never seen anything like
neither.
it. This was as bad, this was worse than trying to sell off that land that the city's trying to sell off, you know? I'll find an investor put up a great restaurant there, make money for the city. What a joke, okay? The case caused a nationwide backlash against eminent domain abuse. Yes, it did. It caused a whole problem all around the country. This has been watched. It's still talked about. It's still very, very resulting in what happened in the reform legislation in more than 40 states and numerous state court decisions that in favor of property owners due to the sacrifice that Sue, I think is her name, Kilo,
yeah.
Suzette Kilo, okay, and those other people who sacrificed and fought this, they lost.
Yeah, they did.
They lost. But in 40 other states around the country, they got good decisions. So sometimes, you know, God does things that are funny. You take a loss and then make it. They benefited a lot of people. Great people that stood up for this fight. A friend of mine was, well, I call him a friend because the lawyer that we know.
Oh, yes. Sawyer?
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes, Mr. Sawyer.
Okay.
Right? I'm having a senior moment here.
I think it's Sawyer. I hope I'm right.
Yeah, I hope I'm right, too,
Yeah,
right?
I hope I'm right.
Nice guy,
Very nice guy.
I make him nervous, I think, because I'm so passionate about the things I go after, and I think he wants to run and hide sometimes when he sees Father around.
He loves you, I think.
You know, but he did a great job with that. And then that group that come in from Washington, great work. But this decision inspired increased citizen activism to the property rights from taking for private developers. I mean, this house is moved from Fort Trumblehood neighborhood, stands as a testament to the bravery of Suzette Kilo and her neighbors, and to thousands of others who have battled and are battling the abuse of eminent domain across the country. This is great. And the 21st on Franklin Street, I think they're gonna
block off the street.
Block off the street, or put up a fence and have a party, and anybody's invited.
Anybody.
Abner said what?
Anybody.
Anybody. He's not
No, he don't care. He don't care.
Anybody.
Dogs, cats, people, everybody.
The enemy can come, right?
Yes, the enemy can come too.
Anybody, Abner said anybody can
Even the enemy.
come. So this is a beautiful site right around the corner from where I am. Abner does a great job. His houses are nice. They're beautiful. He's a landlord that takes care of his tenants. He takes care of his houses, which for Father is a segue. Is that what they call a segue?
Yes.
I'm going to slide in. I'm looking over there. They got a great TV over here that's scary. It scares me to look at myself over there. Right? I want a house shown.
I've seen some better TV.
Okay, because what I did was, okay, if we can show the house that I have a picture of, this is Blight. Now, you see this house? You see that dangerous porch there? I had kids that were hanging over there and playing around the neighborhood, and if that thing fell on those children, this slumlord, that's the word, this is a blight. This is a fungus on my neighborhood on Home Street. This should be torn down. There are houses that have signs on them that say no occupancy up on Mountain Avenue. Okay, and everything else. But this don't have that.
No.
Right? This is a tragic. So what I did, okay, I notified the city council, and here's what I said. Okay, as I sent it to Peg and Kevin and Mike and all our buddies on the city council. I sent it to Adam and Rod Perot. Here we have a blighted house, a fire trap.